All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
Oh, I'm Shane.
Yes, you are.
I am Scott. Not a great transition for this one. I'm just ready to really, really upset some people with this one.
And underperform multiple years in a row.
So obviously we're talking about Laviska Shenault tonight, but it is timely though. Urban Meyer, ding dong, the witch is dead. So what are your thoughts on Viska, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, never a good sign when you have essentially 2 disappointing years, and obviously people are still trying to explain away the disappointment in year 2, despite the wide receiver room basically being cleared out in his favor. I mean, first it was Chark. Well, first it was ETN, then it was Chark, then it was Jamal Agnew. So it really hasn't mattered. I mean, part of it's the efficiency of the whole offense. It sounds like it's just a team that's in utter chaos. And so really nothing's going to go right. But at the same time, there's really not a lot to be excited for if, you're trying to sell yourself on Laviska Shenault. And I mean, the last ADP, he came in at wide receiver 43. I mean, that's not where he's going to land at the end of the season. But that just says there's actually people that want him. My experience is very few people in Dynasty want him. The team that wants him already has him. And a lot of the teams that have him are very defensive about they're basically just going to ride it out, whether it's successful or not. So I don't see a lot of transactions with him, truthfully, because any team I have him, I had a lot of shares. Any team I have him, I'm willing to sell for any second. Any second in Superflex, I'm out. The 212 doesn't matter. I mean, we've talked about the receiver class. There's going to be a comparable profile to Shenault that you're going to be able to get at the end of the second round. And this is just a classic reset button. So we'll get to some other numbers, but yeah, there's no reason to ride out the fact that he still has some name cachet. Just get out.
Nice. 51th in target rate, 68th in air yards.
You just said 51th. But let's just stop.
Yes, he was 51.
You think he actually did that to be funny? But
no, that was totally organic. All right, go ahead. As you were.
As I was, 51st in target rate, 68th in air yards. 2 different coaches, 2 different quarterbacks, multiple quarterbacks, 2 different schemes. The only consistent thing across these years has been Laviska Shenault's not very good at football. He was kind of overhyped last year anyway, coming into the class, right? Because people saw parallels to Deebo Samuel. Sometimes you see what you want to see when you squint your eyes and turn off the lights. So he looked like Deebo Samuel to a lot of people. So a lot of people are going to hold on to that. So now Urban's gone. If you have Laviska in your league, clearly you're going to sell that Urban was the big bad witch of the West, and that's why Laviska wasn't good. That's why Laviska barely was out targeting Tavon Austin when he was on the field, and that's why Laviska was barely out targeting, he wasn't even out targeting Dan Arnold. So yeah, if I can get any second, I will take it this year, next year. I know Scott poo-poos my 2024 picks, but I'll take a 2024 pick while we're at it.
He seems like he might be the kind of piece that you would want to use as a way to move up and around. If you're sitting at what do you think about this? If you're you've got the 212 and you move the 212 and Viska for the 201.
Yeah, I don't think the person that you're trying to trade with would do that, though. That's the thing. If you can do that, if he's one of those players that you can just throw in to move up almost a full round, definitely. But I got a feeling that you would get rejected hard and made fun of, and people would throw things at you.
I think the problem is his true value is probably I moved the 208 and Viska for the 206.
Wow.
And that puts the pressure on you now to have to hit the 206 over the 208, which is fine. There's going to be tier breaks in drafts every year where you're like, damn, I wish I could get up 1 or 2 picks because I know I'm not going to get the guy that I'm targeting. But that just kind of illustrates how little value he carries, how much weight he doesn't carry in a trade. There might be somebody that likes him, but they go, I'm not giving a second. So if they think they're getting him for a 3rd round throw-in value, then they'll buy him. That's where they're interested. That's my biggest issue is I put him on the block in leagues. No one even wants him. People know kind of what his price is to get. they're just not interested because there's a lot of better ways they could spend that second.
And quite honestly, if you can only move up, if you can only use him to move up a few spots in the second round, I'm not going to do that. I'll roster him. I'll wait till he has 1 or 2 good games next year because it'll happen. He's going to have one of those games next year, and people are going to go, see, I told you, all you needed to do is get away from Urban. You'll be like, you're right. He's all yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like with Brian Edwards, he had a sell point. You had your opportunity, but you wanted to hope, right? Kadarius Toney or Laviska Shenault and the 206.
I'm taking Toney.
Tony, yeah.
He's
I don't even like
another
Tony.
year.
I don't even like him. I think he's almost as bad as Shenault, or could end up being just as bad, but I'd rather have him.
You're as bad as Shenault.
All right, same question though. Rondale Moore or Laviska Shenault and the almost same question. Laviska Shenault and the 205 or Rondale Moore.
Honestly, I think I'd take the Viska and the 205, and I was actually just looking at the ADOT numbers, and out of 82 players this year that have at least 50 targets, Rondale Moore is last in air yards and last in ADOT.
Man, I loved Rondale Moore coming out so much. I'll get him flip it. I'm fine. I'll take Rondale Moore and hold on for another 6 weeks. Look, he's going to get a lot of runway next year when AJ Green, Zach Ertz, and Christian Kirk all leave.
What if they
get on the small hype train that's going to be coming through? All right, boys.